Hey everyone, welcome to Strip Club.
Good morning.
Good morning. What month is it today?
July.
It's July. It's a nice summer month. I'm here to present you another pattern that uses 2.5-inch strips. Do you like it?
Yes.
This one's called Criss Cross. Can you tell why?
Yeah.
I am thrilled because this particular sample features my new batik fabric with Timeless Treasure. The batik line is called Tonga Sophisticate, and we around here call it Sophie for short. So Tonga Sophie. So if you ever hear us refer to, oh, that's in Sophie, or go get Sophie, it's the Sophisticate line of fabric with Timeless Treasure. It starts with 2.5-inch strips. Yeah, imagine that. In addition to the strips, we also have a few fabrics. Some coordinating fabrics. We have the background. You can pick out the background pretty quickly. And then we also have 2 accent fabrics. Accent 1 in this case is the red or burgundy. Accent 2 is the blue or navy. And then we also have setting triangles. Setting triangles. So in addition to strips, you need those 4 fabrics plus borders. This is a throw size quilt, and you can see it's fairly large. But because we have so many coordinating fabrics, it actually only uses 17 strips. So we don't use a whole lot of strips. If you buy a bundle that has 40 strips, you can pick out the ones that you like. If you are buying Timeless Treasures fabrics, there are 20 different fabrics, 2 of each. So you really could make 2 quilts from 1 strip bundle. Or you could put them aside for another project. You can also use 2.5-inch strips in the binding. Just a thought. You want to see how the quilt comes together?
Yes.
Okay, so first you need those 2.5-inch strips, and then you'll cut them into segments. You'll cut your background fabric into segments and squares. Follow the pattern for the information. So first we'll take one of the background squares and put it on a print segment like so. If you know our videos, you know we love the stitch and flip technique. Here we have drawn a diagonal line on the back of the fabric. If you don't want to draw the diagonal line, what's our favorite tool class? Fabulous folded corner clipper. It's actually just called the folded corner clipper by Prairie Sky Quilting. We add the fabulous, and sometimes I forget it's not actually in the name, so if I go to search it, I will actually type in fabulous, but it's really just folded corner clipper. With that tool, you can cut off the excess piece right from the beginning and then sew your pieces together, so it saves you time. If you don't have that, the pattern will tell you to draw a diagonal line on the back of your fabric. You place a diagonal line like so on your print fabric, and then with your sewing machine, you don't have to do this by hand, you stitch right next to the drawn line. And when I say right next to it, I mean just a stitch close to the point. Because the next thing we'll do is flip this over and get a nice triangle in the corner of our segment. We want to stitch a thread to the point because when you fold the fabric over, it eats up just a little bit of the fabric, so you want to be able to make sure this point goes all the way to the bottom point. So it stays the same rectangle it started with. You follow me? When you know you have that, you can pull this top flat back down and trim away the excess fabric. If you want, you can use it into another project. If you want. Or you can give it to that one friend that does that sort of work. Or you can just say, this is a lot of fun, and then move along. So you're going to make a number of pieces that look just like this. You follow? Different colors. You have already cut, by the magic of television, and don't you wish we had these little elves that did all the cutting, some background pieces that are the same size as your print segment, and you'll put those on either side of 3 print segments to make a block. What, Daniela? What do you do? Let me show you. It looks like this. That is one block. So the name of the pattern is called Criss Cross, but we really want to call it Game of Thrones. Or what is it, the Iron Throne. Do you see this? Does it look like swords to you? In fact, I lost my wand or my pointer earlier today, but we do have a pirate sword in back. Because doesn't every quilt shop have a pirate sword in back? Almost used the pirate sword, but we came through with the different things. Okay, so this is your first block. Make a bunch of those. Pattern will tell you how many. All right, you ready to make your second block? Now we're going to use our accent fabrics. So here we have accent 1 sewn together with a background segment or strip to make a strip set. It looks like this. Strip set. Press to the dark. Cut out a bunch of 2.5-inch segments to look like this. I know it's mesmerizing, but are you with me? You'll take 2 of these, flip one around to make a 4-patch. Good? Let's do it again. This time, we're going to do it with accent 2. Yes?
Yep.
Yes? Okay. So we have a 4-patch like this, a 4-patch like that. Now we just need to add a couple other pieces. To create our second block. You see the 4-patch? 4-patch, 4-patch. A square of accent 1 in the center. And then these offshoots, this plus sign, that all comes from a print strip. Notice they all match. Make sure they match. Wouldn't be wrong. You wouldn't get arrested if they didn't match. But in our quilt, these do match. This is your second block. It's just 2 blocks. But it is set on point. Do you see it now in the quilt? Do you want to see the blocks? They are set on point so they'll look like diamonds. So here is the 4-patch block. Actually, I think exactly the same fabrics I used. How about that? I picked exactly the same one. Okay, so there's the second block we made. Yes?
Yes.
And here's the first block we made. So now when you sew it together, you're going to sew it together by diagonal rows. Diagonal rows are hard to imagine, so we always lay it out by taking the quilt and turning it just 45 degrees. So everybody, look at it and tilt your head like this. This is the first block. On either side of the first block, we have setting triangles. What's nice, these setting triangles are a different color. Now you can really see when I talk about setting triangles. So we start with a setting triangle. We do a block and then a setting triangle. With the next row, and you will sew these 3 together to complete a row. In the next row, we have the setting triangle. We have the Game of Thrones block. We have the 9-patch and then another Game of Thrones and then a setting triangle. That makes the second row. Now for the third row, it's even bigger. Again, setting, alternating blocks, setting. When you've laid out all your blocks on your floor, on your bed, if you go on the floor and you have pets, they'll always help you. Always. Always. Once you have the arrangement, you will sew together by rows, and then you'll sew your whole rows together with these long seams. You will have a little triangle right here that is too big to have a straight seam, doesn't make the edge flush. You will trim those off. So we do talk about cutting off those little dog ears so you can sew the 2 rows back together. The very last thing you do are the corners. There's a corner in the top left, corner in the top right. My mom says I go too fast in these videos, so I'm slowing it down. We have corner triangles on the bottom. Those will complete the edges. They will fill in all the holes. And then the last thing you do is trim up those edges so they're nice and flush. Then you'll add your borders. We highly recommend when you're doing a quilt that's on point that you measure. Actually, you should do this with every quilt. You take a measurement of the width of your quilt and the top, the middle, and the bottom, average those, and then cut your top and bottom border pieces to that size. If it's a little bit bigger on one side, you make it work, and if it's a little smaller, you ease it in. This helps keep it square. Now, I know a lot of times we just slap those borders on, and sometimes one edge can be bigger than the other edge. If you cut your border sizes to the same size, then you know you're going to be more apt to have a square quilt when it's said and done. So after you've added those borders on, then you measure again in the other direction and then add those borders on. But especially on point, those quilts on point, the way we have designed these setting triangles, the edges are straight of grain, but still on point, there's a little more give, a little more wiggle. So then you add your borders. We have a border 1 and a border 2. I love this border 2. Yeah, it's got a little southwestern feel to it. The fabric line itself has been called patriotic, which wasn't the intention, but with the deep reds and the deep blues, it really is. But with the lighter blue, I think it tones down that sort of patriotic feel a little bit. But I'm really pleased with this collection. Don't you think it'd look good in your living room? Yeah. Oh, and look how lovely. We took the very lightest fabric and put it smack in the center. It's very nicely done. Any questions on this? When you came in and looked at it, did you know it was just 2 simple blocks? No, the answer's no. Right? Thank you.
Had no idea.
Thank you. Had no idea. Any questions? No questions?
Question?
Yes.
Like you did block B.
Yes.
Did you want the color to match the setting triangle? Or was it just?
It just happened. The question is this one? Does it match the setting triangles on purpose? It just happened.
Oh.
Yeah. In fact, I think we knew this fabric was going to be our setting triangle, so we made sure to use it closer and further away from the setting triangles so that it wouldn't blend too much. This is just a print strip. Yep, not intentionally the same fabric as the setting triangles. It comes from the set, and if you'll notice, this is the that same block, different fabrics now. Here, this block blends into the pointy parts to create the crisscross effect. Here it doesn't as much. Oh, that's another thing I want to tell you. Forgot about this. Look at accent 1. In this block, it's horizontal. In this block, it's vertical. Then horizontal again. And then we alternate. So that creates a bit of an alternating secondary subtle effect. The subtle effect in this, because that red and that blue are the same value, but if you use different values, you'll see it more. And so to alternate it is just a nice effect. Do you want to see another colorway?
Yeah.
Of course. What size did I say this one was up on the wall? This is a twin. How many strips does a twin take? Can somebody tell me? 26. Yeah, would you mind? As this is a twin and I am more throw size type of girl. What do you think? Different colors, different layout, same concept. Is it pretty?
Definitely. That fabric line.
Thanks. This is a line called Splash, I believe. And we do have the strip bundles of this. Pretty? Okay, my friends. No other questions?
Yeah, they don't.
Ah, now these, okay, so no one will be arrested, I told you. But here in this sample, those crisscrosses are not the same fabrics. They're scrappy. Do you see it? So it creates a more scrappy effect. Okay. No more questions? Thank you, Tanya. Watch your step. All right. Well, if you don't have any more questions, that's all I have to share with you today. Oh, wait. No. I have 2 quilts I want to share. Would that be okay? Yes. These are also from Tonga Sophisticate. And last month, I showed a good handful from the same fabric line, but I didn't get to show these 2 because they were off getting photographed. Would you like to see them today? Yes. Oh, I am going to need you.
All right.
So to keep with the winter is coming theme,
Is there an up or a down?
yeah, there's a longer side and a shorter side, I think.
I think that's
Yeah,
probably the
let's
down.
put the label on the down. This is Winter Solstice in Tonga Sophisticate. So you see why I wanted to show you? Clearly not the pattern that we have today on the wall, but an old favorite. Wow, the crowd fell silent. Yeah, it's our pattern. Maureen made that. You didn't make this one? You made the next one, though. Yes, you did. Okay, same fabrics, but now we pulled a lot more of the blues. So it reads a lot more blue. Is it pretty? Okay. We're making kits for this, so if anybody wants a kit, we'll cut it for you. We can do it in whatever size you want, because we're cut to order. While supplies last. And now, Maureen, the sample maker and tester and friend extraordinaire, made this in 3 days? 4. This is the quilt along book we have.
Oh, man. I always look first.
This is Lace Star.
Hang on a second. I'm just messing it up. Hang on a second.
So this is Lace Star. Is it pretty? Yeah. The quilting is fabulous too. I'm pretty sure the quilting is a design by Quilter's Niche, one of my mom's digitized designs.
Oh, sorry. How about that?
Good?
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks for indulging me the 2 other quilts. We are kitting that too, so if you're interested, get your name on the list. Okay, now, any other questions? No? All right. Thanks for indulging the last 2 quilts. Shall we do this again next month? Yes. Let's do it. So join us next month for another pattern that uses 2.5-inch strips. Yay!